It started like any typical office romance: stolen glances across the conference table, coffee breaks that lingered a little too long, and late-night texts that blurred the line between personal and professional. Nobody at the firm knew they were more than co-workers. In fact, no one had the slightest clue they were secretly married. Emma and Ryan thought they could keep it all hidden. After all, they were both ambitious, careful, and deeply in love. But the office had rules, and one of them was clear: no workplace relationships, especially not with someone in a position of power. Emma had worked hard to climb the ladder, and Ryan, he was already there. As one of the youngest directors in the company, his word carried weight. So they kept their marriage under wraps, thinking it was better to protect both their careers. But secrets don't stay secrets forever. And the truth, it didn't come out in a quiet meeting or a private email. It exploded, loudly, publicly, and with consequences neither of them saw coming. Whispers started. Someone noticed a pattern, maybe a slip in an email, or just how their eyes met a little too long in the hallway. HR got involved, meetings were called, and then Emma was let go. No explanation, no second chance, just a cold, sudden end to her time at the company. But why her? And not Ryan? That's where things get messy, because the story doesn't end with her termination. That was just the beginning. What really happened behind those office doors? Who exposed them? And how far would someone go to protect their own reputation, even if it meant destroying the person they loved? Stay with me, because the truth behind this office romance is anything but simple. Emma had always been the quiet achiever, the kind of person who stayed late, never missed a deadline, and avoided drama at all costs. She wasn't the type to cut corners or chase promotions through charm. She earned every bit of respect through hard work. When she met Ryan, it wasn't some whirlwind office fling. It started slow: mutual admiration, long talks about their goals, and that rare kind of connection where everything just fits. They didn't plan to get married in secret. It just happened. A simple ceremony, just them and a witness, with the promise that they'd keep work and personal life separate. But the office isn't blind. People notice things. And in a place where competition is high and trust is low, rumors spread fast. Emma didn't see it coming: the way her colleagues started to act distant, how projects she used to lead were suddenly reassigned, or how her manager's tone shifted from friendly to cold. She thought maybe it was just pressure from the upcoming restructuring, or maybe she was just imagining things. But she wasn't. One anonymous complaint was all it took. HR opened a quiet investigation. Ryan tried to shield her, suggesting she take a few days off, maybe work from home, but that only made things worse. To the company, it looked like favoritism, and once someone hinted at a conflict of interest, everything started unraveling. Emma was called into a meeting. No warning, no chance to explain. She left that room without a job, and with more questions than answers. What she didn't know then was that someone inside the company had been watching closely, someone with a reason to bring her down. And if you think this story is about love and betrayal, you're only half right. Emma spent the next few days in a fog. One minute she was part of a rising team, and the next she was packing her things in silence, escorted out like a stranger. No goodbye emails, no second chances. But the worst part, Ryan didn't say a word. Not publicly, not to HR, not even to her that day. It was like he vanished into the walls of the office, keeping his head down while she took the fall. Behind the scenes, he was under pressure too. As a director, Ryan had been warned. Any involvement in the situation could risk his own position. He was told to stay neutral, to let HR handle it by the book. But how do you stay neutral when it's your wife being accused? Still, Ryan chose silence, and Emma couldn't understand why. That silence quickly turned into distance, and that distance became doubt. Meanwhile, rumors continued to swirl in the office. Whispers about a promotion deal, someone saying Emma was only where she was because of Ryan. That hurt, because Emma had never asked for favors. If anything, she'd worked twice as hard just to prove she wasn't getting special treatment. But someone, and she still didn't know who, wanted her gone. And there was more. Days after her dismissal, Emma received an anonymous message, just one sentence, asterisk, he knew this was coming. Asterisk, no name, no explanation, just enough to plant a seed of suspicion that grew with every unanswered question. Did Ryan know? Had he made a deal? Or worse, had he been part of it? As Emma started digging for answers, one thing became clear. This wasn't just about a broken company rule. It was about power, secrets, and the price of trust in a place where everyone's watching. Emma couldn't sleep. That single message haunted her. Asterisk, he knew this was coming. Asterisk, she kept replaying the last few weeks in her mind, searching for signs she might have missed. And the more she thought about it, the more things didn't add up. Ryan had been distant lately, even before she got fired. He'd been staying late, dodging her questions, brushing off any talk about work. She thought it was just stress, but now it felt like something more. She started reaching out to old co-workers, trying to piece together what had been going on behind her back. Most were hesitant to talk. A few gave vague answers, clearly afraid to get involved. But one former colleague hinted at something deeper. A major reshuffle happening in the background. Leadership changes, promotions, and one name kept coming up in those conversations: Claire. Claire had always been ambitious, the kind of person who played the game well. She and Ryan had worked closely together on several high-profile projects, and according to whispers, Claire was next in line for a promotion. The same role Emma had been aiming for. That's when it hit her. This wasn't just about a company rule being broken. It was about competition, about someone clearing the way. Emma dug deeper. Company emails, project files, even her own performance reports. She found inconsistencies, timelines that didn't match, reviews that had been altered, missing messages. Someone had been setting her up, and it had started long before anyone found out she and Ryan were married. Now the pressure was boiling. Emma was ready to confront the one person who might have answers, but she wasn't sure she was ready to hear the truth, because if Ryan really knew, if he was in on it, everything she believed in was about to collapse. Emma finally decided to confront Ryan. She waited outside his office building, her heart pounding, questions racing through her head. When he saw her, his expression shifted, not surprised, but uneasy, like he'd been expecting this moment. They sat in his car, windows rolled up, a strange silence filling the space between them. She asked him straight, asterisk, did you know? Did you let this happen, asterisk? Ryan didn't answer right away. He looked torn, like he was choosing between telling the truth or protecting something bigger. Then he admitted something she hadn't expected. Asterisk, I tried to stop it. Asterisk. Those words hit her harder than silence. He went on to explain that he'd overheard conversations between senior managers weeks ago. Her name had come up, not as a rising star, but as a risk, and the trigger. Someone had anonymously submitted a report suggesting Emma was influencing deals through a personal connection, him. But that wasn't the real twist. Ryan revealed he wasn't just trying to protect Emma, he was protecting himself. Someone had threatened to leak private financial records, old transactions from when Ryan first joined the company, ones that could be twisted to suggest misconduct. Claire knew about it, she had access, and if Emma didn't quietly disappear, Ryan would go down too. Emma felt the ground shift under her. This wasn't just betrayal, it was blackmail. And worse, the company had turned a blind eye, likely to protect its own image. Now she wasn't just dealing with office politics, she was facing a system built to silence people like her. The question now wasn't just who was behind it, but how far they were willing to go. And if Emma pushed back, what else would she uncover, or lose, in the process? Emma knew she couldn't stay silent any longer. With Ryan's reluctant confession hanging heavy between them, she decided to take matters into her own hands. She gathered every piece of evidence she could find, emails, messages, and documents that showed Claire's manipulation and the company's attempts to cover it up. Emma reached out to a trusted journalist known for exposing corporate scandals, hoping the truth would finally come to light. The day the story broke, the office was thrown into chaos. Claire was suspended pending investigation, and HR was under fire for mishandling the whole situation. The company's image took a hit, but Emma felt a small victory. She had been vindicated. Ryan, too, was cleared of any wrongdoing, his name finally untarnished. For the first time in weeks, they were able to talk openly again, trying to rebuild the trust that had almost shattered. But just when it seemed like the nightmare was over, Emma received an unexpected message. It wasn't a threat this time, it was a confession from Claire. She claimed she wasn't the mastermind behind everything. Instead, there was someone even higher up, someone who had orchestrated the entire plan to remove Emma quietly and protect their own secrets. Someone Ryan had trusted implicitly. Emma's world spun again. The story wasn't over. It had only just begun. The tangled web of office politics, secrets, and betrayal was far deeper than she had imagined. And now, with a new player in the game, the stakes were higher than ever. Emma realized that fighting for the truth meant diving even deeper into a world where loyalty was rare, and the cost of uncovering the truth could be more than she was prepared to pay. Emma sat quietly, staring at Claire's message. The revelation that someone even higher up had been pulling the strings made everything clearer and more complicated, but she knew one thing for sure: she wasn't going to let the story end in silence again. This time, she vowed to keep fighting, no matter how deep the secrets ran. In the weeks that followed, Emma and Ryan worked together to gather more proof. They connected with legal advisors and insiders willing to speak out. Slowly, the company began a full investigation that reached beyond Claire, exposing leadership failures and corruption that had been hidden for years. It wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt, tension, and risk. But Emma's determination never wavered. Eventually, the truth brought change. The company's board replaced several top executives, including the person who had tried to bury Emma's success. Policies were revamped to protect employees from unfair treatment and secret retaliation. Emma's story became a catalyst for a better workplace culture, one where transparency and fairness mattered. She even received a formal apology and an offer to return, though she wasn't sure if going back was the right choice. Through it all, Emma and Ryan's marriage was tested but grew stronger. They learned that love in the workplace, or anywhere, required trust, honesty, and standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. Their journey showed just how fragile reputations can be, and how easily power can be abused when no one's watching. In the end, Emma's story is a reminder. Sometimes, standing up for yourself means facing the storm head-on. Office politics and secrets may threaten to tear people apart, but courage and truth can turn even the darkest moments into a new beginning.